And welcome to another beautiful evening in the city of Baltimore. This is XTY. I'm Tian.
And Ayoka T. Price.
Hi T.
Hey,
Hi Yoka.
girl.
I'm thinking about changing my name back
To
to
what?
my government. I just feel like this is a new year, new me. So let me stop. I'm changing that shit. I'm not telling nobody my government that doesn't know that. I'll stick with TN.
And I'll stick with Ayoka.
Thank you. So we want to thank everybody for being here on this beautiful winter cold night with us in
Yeah.
Baltimore. We hope that everybody is safe, sound, and that you're social distancing and just doing whatever just so that we can make it through another year. This is actually the first show of 2021. While we in a whole, did you think that you would live to see like 2021 too?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
I,
you thought
I
you
just
would live
will be
forever
taken
after
back
that.
by the fact that I'm 41, but at the same time,
I'll be 43 this year, sis.
but yes, I definitely could see this. It's amazing though. Like we really are into a new year, and
Yeah.
that's like so far everything has been amazing. I can say the transition into this new year, I've seen so many different confirmations of things to come, and
Yeah.
and I'm staying very hopeful. No, regardless of what is taking place within this world right now. Yeah, I'm staying in a positive mindset and I'm moving forward because
I
I'm
know
only
that's right.
from here.
I know that's right. My New Year's Eve was like real chill. Of course, we didn't go nowhere, but it was real chill. It was safe. It was quiet. I got a little tipsy, but then I was in bed by like a little bit after 12 because I was like, this is dumb. Let me go to bed. There's nothing else to do at this point. But yeah, like this has been a peaceful transition. I mean, it's not much going on because you can't really do much in Baltimore right now because of COVID. But again, I hope everybody had a beautiful New Year's. I hope that you're being safe, you're social distancing, and you're doing your very best to make sure that we see you next year. We do have a guest for this show. As you can see, she's here. I'm going to introduce her in a few minutes. Remember that you should be following us on our Instagram, our Facebook, our YouTube at XTY. Make sure you subscribe to all of our pages that I just mentioned. We do have some sponsors that will be actually ticking across the bottom. Make sure you support them. We have Uno. We have Sheaves that are in. Who else do we have, T? Because I'll be leaving people out.
With
Janice
G
Jewel.
Jules, Dogmail. We got a lot of
We
sponsors.
got a lot of sponsors.
Yes, that's definitely been supporting the XTY movement. We will be going on our 6 years.
Six
Um,
years.
6 years. And
6
so
years.
we are definitely grateful. You guys help us to keep the XTY show going, and you help us to be able to bring on other entrepreneurs to help them literally
Yeah.
make their brands more aware to our network of people as well. So we greatly appreciate you. If you are looking for ad space, we do have a ticker that you
And
see at
dollars.
the bottom. $10 ticket space. Hold on, let me put that up there so y'all can see that, right?
Take a space up there. No, it's just $10. This is $10, and
You help us to pay for flyers, pay for promotional stuff, and to bring on creatives for free. So your contributions are greatly appreciated. I'm sorry, Boom.
Oh no, no. You was fine because you said enough. You said enough. You said enough. That should have been enough. So make sure that you support, you like, you share when you watch this video, that you're sharing it with your people and just spread the love. Just spread it, spread it, spread it, spread it, spread it. Speaking of love, we are going to talk about body love on this wonderful night. We have the Body Queen is going to be with us today. Keisha's actually an old friend who I've known for a good amount of time. And I just want to say really, really quick, she actually helped me out when I was going through a rough patch with my skin. Like I did like this outcry on Facebook and she responded and I've been in the inbox ever since. So talking to the Body Queen later on. All right. So make sure y'all stick around for that. Say hi, Keisha. I know I'm jumping around.
Hello, hi. I am Keisha. I am the creator of the Body Queen, all natural, 100% organic, handcrafted body care products.
All right. So we're gonna get into that in a few minutes. So, first off, now if you were with the show last week, which you should have been, you will remember that we were discussing this dope book that's out right now. The book is actually called Relationships, the Black Book, and it's brought by David Lloyd Marcus. All right. So last week we actually talked about situationships. If you don't know what they are, you should probably run it back. Look at last week's show and you can catch up to this week. All right. So for this week, I figured, listen, it's January. This is a new year. Everybody has resolutions and just everything. At the end of the day, any resolution that you make it for your own happiness, right?
Right.
So like, this is January soon. The weather's going to be warm again. In another 3-4 months, it's going to be warm outside. And, cuffing season is done. Relation season is done. Everybody's going to want to do the breakups because summertime is coming. First is spring, then summertime is going to be here, right? So I figured we would actually talk about that's my favorite chapter in the book. Chapter number 22.
Let me find out you taking notes.
Yes, I took notes through this whole book. Don't get it twisted. Look, are you taking advantage of a good man, but are you catering to trash?
Ooh.
Now, this is one of my favorite chapters, just as a female, just period, because we don't always pick the right people. You know what I mean? And as I said, last week, we spoke about situationships and how, I don't even want to get into that. I just really want you to watch the show from last week, just so what we were talking about. But at the end of the day, a lot of times there are men and women that will look at us like we are the greatest thing that has ever walked the face of the earth. They will do anything for us. Whatever we ask, they will do. If you think that you look horrible, like on any given day, that one person will look at you like, baby, you just look so beautiful. Like your hair full, smell good today. You smell like you smell like angels. Like you just look like.
Hold on, where this person at?
This is my point. We have them.
You don't want them.
No. We have them. The problem is, and let me go back to David, which is actually my favorite quote in this book, and I just hate it, but I just love it. Says, I know I am being treated like shit, but my God, I love the way this man makes my body feel. Know that it's men that would treat me better. Pray for me like Russell Wilson. In my case, it's going to be like Rick Ross. And probably worship the ground that I walk on. But when this man touches me, it's electrifying. So the purpose of this chapter is basically saying, like, we have men or women in our lives that can make us feel extremely good and make us extremely happy, and not make us happy because you should already be happy.
Right.
But they will heighten our happiness. But we put them to the side to deal with garbage that treats shit. But because the sex is so good,
you think it's a blunder
to let them go.
Okay, so we're trying to say that it's the sex that keeps us.
No, what he's saying is
sex is what keeps us bound to these toxic relationships.
Exactly, and what the basic principle in this whole entire chapter was that there are a lot of relationships that people are in that they are with extremely good people, but they treat those good people like trash and will be out here treating the trash like they're gods, you know what I mean? And then forget about the actual goodness that they had in vice versa. You know what I mean? It's just the point that we treat good ones like trash, and we treat the trashy ones like they're gods.
Oh wow.
And let me say why.
Oh,
I 100% understand why, because I was here and not understanding oneself. If you don't understand yourself, you can have $1 million or a pot of gold, you still poor, because you'll behave in that manner because you do not understand what it needs to take to maintain something that is good for you or something that can elevate you better.
That was dope.
So again, I always tell people, understand you first. You can't tell somebody what to give you or what you want in life or how you want to be treated in the getting to know each other stages of it all, in the playing and in the dating of it all, when it's all a facade. Like, I don't even know you for a whole year. Like, we just out here playing and lying to each other for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really do not know me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know the man in the mirror. You know who I want to know until I feel comfortable, until I trust you enough to let you know my real self. So now we done played with each other in the sheets and everything else for a whole year. And now you could still be a good man, as T say. You could be everything else like that. But for the end of the day, if I don't know me, if I'm not secure in my standard, if I'm not comfortable in saying, no, sir, I don't like that. No, sir, I don't want that. No, sir, this is not comfortable for me.
You're true.
You to start accepting and being okay, accepting stuff that you know 100% off top would be deal breakers.
But let me ask the question now. Let me ask the question now. Just and then T, I know you got something to say. I got a question. What about when going back to what David said? And I feel like I keep saying like this is what David said. And for those that are just tuning in, we're talking about Relationships, the Black Book by David Lloyd Marcus. When David said, I know I'm being treated like shit, but I love the way this man makes my body feel. You know, and we just accept it. Is that a self-esteem issue? Like you, and I'm saying that because that particular statement was in the chapter about the sex. Like some women just do it because we get good sex and we don't know how to always leave because that person hits the spot that you like. They bang it out the way you like. They do everything that you like, and that draws you in. Do you think that a lot of times that
you think we be stigmatized?
No, that's my question. Do you think is that, or is it just a simple thing of like, oh, I fell in love with it because of what they do, and they got into my head, and because I think the way they make me feel with this, is that a self-esteem issue, or is it just like they were able to get?
I'm say it's just as the same as Keisha was basically saying. It's like knowing your worth, and sometimes a lot of us are so stuck on our codependencies because that's all it is. It's codependencies that keep us stuck in these toxic relationships, knowing it's not good for us. But it's a lot to do with knowing your own self-acceptance, your own self-worth. All of that comes into play, and why it's not just the sex. You know, that's just my opinion. Like, it's not enough. It ain't enough dicking me down that you can do. You understand? That's the reason why I'm staying. It's more because of the fact that I done got so caught up into these relationships. I can't, right. And it's all about healing yourself, like you said, knowing yourself and being able to release those things that keep making you drawn to these. You understand? This
person.
Right.
Yeah. And the one thing I do like that he ended this chapter with, because it's, as I said, this is one of my favorite chapters because you know, just to put it, you know, I try to be open and honest. I know I say this probably every time we talk about relationships, but I try to be open and honest with the people that I'm dealing with. Like, listen, this isn't gonna go nowhere. You know, because I have my reservations and just whatever. I try to tell them. So if you get mad at me, you can't get mad and say I didn't tell you because I told you. You're not going to go nowhere. But at the end of the day, the one thing I do appreciate that he put in here was, especially with women, a lot of times we don't always see it. You know, like we don't always see it. So you have people that, like I had somebody that texts me every morning, good morning, beautiful. Hello, beautiful. Did you eat lunch, beautiful? And I was like, listen, this is just too much. Like, you my nerves. Like, how many fucking beautifuls are you gonna text me? Like, are you gonna bring me lunch or what? And I did. But I realized but it got on my nerves. But I realized it got on my nerves because that was not something that I
were used
accustomed to having.
Right,
so
right.
They're like, listen, do you want me to just fuck you? Or is that what you want? You want me to just go ahead and sleep with you or what and get it over with because I wasn't used to that.
Right.
And that's sad.
Kind of blew it off, but in reality, it's because it's something that I've never had,
Right.
So I just see maybe it was like, I'm just done. Like, you just getting on my nerves. Like,
and I think a lot of women think like that. And it's only because I always say, like, your soulmate is always opposite of what you think it would be. And that's usually the people that are loving all over you. And you just be like, I don't like you like that. I'm not attracted to you like
if you don't get you and them cooties out of here.
And leave me alone and just go ahead and eat me or something. Do you want to just give me it? Like, what do you want to do? Because I'm not going to keep doing this. Hello, beautiful.
But you want to go chase after that bad boy or that bad girl, however it goes, because of the codependencies. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We got these.
It bangs that back out to the point where you can't walk straight and has you sore for like weeks. Like,
you're like, yo, this toxic is I don't know what.
This is going to go right on back.
That is, and I get, like what he was talking about, but when you have a conversation with other females about it, you actually get it. Like it's extremely toxic. This chapter, even though he didn't word it in that way, it's basically talking about being in a toxic relationship and just knowing that you have to walk away and you have to choose yourself. And if you are in a situation where you are in a very good relationship and you're with somebody that loves you and really, really wants to be with you, don't push them away. Don't push them to the side. And the one thing that he did say was there are people that are in relationships right about now, women that have very good men. And the dick sucking, I'm talking low because I have a kid here, but the dick sucking and just everything that they did in the beginning and all of the sex that they did earlier on, it stopped because they got extremely comfortable.
Right.
It's like, listen, sis, the same things that you were doing in the beginning is what you should be doing now. Because you do have a very good man and he's very, very good to you and he deserves that. He treats you like a queen. And you should do the same thing.
But then you get to repurpose. Now, I might sort of kind of not agree. Because me chasing you and maintaining a relationship is different. Now, me running around these bushes, bending over, is different than us trying to maintain a whole household.
Right.
That's what different. You know what I'm saying? Now, I get like maintaining the spice, the spice of it all. I get 100% that aspect of it all, but we're going to have to grow up a little bit. And me growing up and the mindset doesn't lessen the relationship on what the mattering of it all.
But you can. But it's just the point about just you can do all of those things, but just it's basically about appreciation. Just showing.
But then I don't think that's how you show appreciation. I mean, you should be very spontaneous within your relationship. But it's not something that I gotta do because you didn't pay the bills, Negro, or you didn't.
See, this is you know why this is not going the way that I thought it would.
But don't think that
you really didn't.
I didn't think it was going to go this way because the point about this is toxic thinking. The point that he was making was you don't have to do all of that. You don't have to do anything extra. Just don't stop appreciating. Put it like this. When you're dating somebody,
don't take your partner for granted.
Exactly. Listen, I've had people, I've heard women say, oh, I'm not giving that nigga nothing. He's not getting nothing for the next few weeks because I'm tired. Why? You know what I mean? Like, why? Like,
you withholding sex. Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying listen, you don't have to suck dick and swallow every single night. You know what I Like, you don't have to do like all of that stuff every single night. You don't have to have sex every night. You don't have to wind it down every night, but just don't make it to the point where you're not doing it at all. And then you're
okay. So T,
you
help
know,
you and so help me understand.
You know, I'm
for the
thinking
women
I'm just going by the
that
book.
are trying to, because I was that girl. I was that girl that said this is what a relationship should be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just go into it, you know, doing what others didn't do or did because you have no examples on what a healthy relationship should be because you really don't know who you really are as a woman, trying to be a mama, trying to be a wife, trying to be a productive member of society. We as Black women really have zero example on how to be successful. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can have success, but the same track records that others are laid down, well, we do not have that. So we out here winging it. We out here struggling. We got to take the struggle on to us, the kids, the man. They got to deal with some stuff from our past, and they got to deal with the mama stuff. You know what I'm saying? The sins of the mother and the father, and you know,
and then maintain your own
but yet they want you to still be that girl.
You're right.
So for everyone that, you know what I'm saying, like, you can see a man that can say, okay, he could be everything, but then I know I'm toxic, you know. So how do you know what I'm saying? So the words to the ones that understand that they have healing to do and stuff to do, my advice is just, do they still get in relationships? Because I understand everyone that knows they need healing, I promise you, they're already in a relationship.
Well, you know what? I'm glad that she made
single. They are not single.
No, they're not. I'm glad that she made that point.
They are not single.
Listen, I promise you, I'm glad that she made that point because it actually goes into next week's conversation. Next week's conversation, for those that just tuned in, we are talking about Relationships, the Black Book by David Boyd Marcus. Next week's conversation is actually going to be talking about, it's actually going to be chapter 3. And y'all see, I got highlights on everything. Are you compatible with your type? And I want to talk about that just so that y'all, listen, if you have not downloaded the book, you can download it. You can download it, get you a copy, see if David can hurry up and mail it or do whatever. And I say that because we're going to talk about that, because when I read that chapter, like, I have a type. I know what my type is. I know exactly what
your type that you settle for is a compromise.
Bingo. Exactly. And when I read
it, is definitely not the one that you would pick up off the street out of a magazine. Your type is definitely a compromise.
When I read that chapter, I compared the people that I've dealt with in the past, all the way down to the last person that I dealt with, to the reasons why we didn't work out. And I realized that we didn't work out because they weren't my type and we weren't compatible. So we're going to,
you made them fit.
Right. But it actually talks about dealing with a toxic person. And especially when you are a person that loves being in love and just everything, and you just pick it. Listen, next week we're going to talk about this. So make sure that y'all are here next week as we talk about that. If you haven't gotten the book, make sure that you get it. Or, I will say the name again, Miss Wanda. Dr. Ouch presents Relationships, the Black Book, and the purchase information is down at the bottom. You can also follow David on IG at David L. Marcus. Make sure y'all check that out and get that book and download so y'all could be a part of this book discussion. And let me say real quick, I know why y'all could go and look at me sideways, but if it's a book and it's a good book, hit us up. You know, we will sit and, well, at least I'll read it. T will listen to it, but we will read it and we can put it on here and make it a part of our weekly discussion. So make sure y'all.
We got a question. She said, how do you know who's really your type?
Oh, guess what, sis? You know how you're going to find out next week, next day on January the 11th at 9 when we talk about relationships. Black Book, and you need to get the book because we're going to talk about it. We giving shout outs. We getting ready to get into you, boo. All right, so I'm glad you stuck around. As you can see, we do have the body queen, Miss Keisha Tucker, is with us this evening. I was going to say today, but on this evening. For those of you who don't know, Keisha is like, her hands are magic when it comes to oils and lotions and face washes and everything that you need for your body. And let me just say really quick, I say that because I had did like an SOS. If you know me, you know that my skin is horrible. I can use a soap and I can use it for like a week and my skin will reject it the week later. I'll start itching, hives, everything. I went and saw an allergist, just everything. It's bad. I'm 42. I've been dealing with this my whole life. So I did an SOS one day, and I've known Keisha for probably about 7 to 8 years. I did an SOS. Like, listen, I just need help because I'm over it. I'm just tired of buying soaps and lotions and oils. And she was like, baby, I got you. I'm going to send you something. And she sent me a wash. She sent me soap. And I haven't had like any issues from any of her products. So I said we need to get her on the show because she is naturalist. Is that the right word I should be using, T? A naturalist?
Yeah, anyone.
She is a naturalist. The only person's products that I do use, that don't irritate my skin are her and T's. Well, there's one other person, but they are the main ones that I actually go to for my moisturizers and my washes and everything. So I said we need to get her on here. So where do you want to start, Keisha? Because I just you were selling body stuff. I looked on Facebook one day and you had a page for lotions and creams and washes, and I was like, where the fuck Keisha start selling this stuff?
Where did you begin? Yes.
Tell us how that started.
It started from a need of me being okay in life. Just life. Just not anything specific. It's just I needed to just be okay. Like I was a 2-time cancer survivor, immune system going crazy, just health issues, just so young, dealing with a lot of stuff and not understanding the other stuff that comes in life, like to be a mother, to be a productive mother, member of society, to do everything else you have to do and still maintain being healthy, still, keep this together. Because no one really teaches you how to do this. They teach you how to go to work, teach you how to make money, they teach you how to, change a diaper. They got all them classes. And I'm not saying they don't have classes on wellness, but it's not a lot for us. So I just needed to take control of what went into my body and what was going to go on to my body. So it formed the Body Queens to say, if you do look at the back of a bottle, literally of a bottle of lotion, of a bottle of anything, and dextrose, whatever, all of these chemicals that can react to our skin. And this time, it's a lot of uncertainty on what we're doing with us and unknown reactions. You've never seen so many people not understanding why they got glucose allergies, different kind of allergies, this allergy, the skin is messing up. It's an in and out. It's what you put in versus what you take out. It's just the control of it all. And if we understood that we could have more control in 3 items or less ingredients, because it doesn't take a lot. If we can really understand that we can really do better by ourselves, we can literally really do better by ourselves. So starting the Body Queens is really just igniting me to say, Keisha can do better. Like I've always been a talker. I've always been a advice person, a wisdom person. But it does start from you. You really have to believe the shit that you out here saying to people. You really have to live it. You really have to say, I'm going to be a better me for me. Be okay not telling my side of the story, when shit go crazy. understanding you and being okay for you. So the Body Queens, the name of it all, that's just it. It's just the Body Queens. It's like you, your body, your queen, your temple. It don't matter what you're doing, how you're doing it, the way you can do it. There is a way to do it to get you from A to B to C to D.
See. I like that. I'll do everything you want to say, because I think the first time I heard anything similar to that, which probably the first time I locked my head was when you locked my head in 07. You were like, you gotta watch what you put in your body because of this and perms and da 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 blah blah blah. And just even with my skin, as I said, my skin has always been crazy. So I think the first time I went to T and I was like, I can't figure out a lotion. Like I just keep itching. Like I break out in hives every other day. And she gave me this moisturizer, this shea butter that I use. I use it on my son's hair. I use it on my body, and it's never given me any issues, which is why I always come from her. So,
I definitely agree because, I've been a natural hair care stylist. That's just one of my professions since probably 2000. And we were always taught to, if it's good enough to eat, it's good enough to use on your body, or you shouldn't have that many ingredients in your product, right? Like you don't need all of that extra stuff. And so I do definitely agree when you said it's like up to three base products. It's like you're right. It's like you don't need to have a whole bunch of heavy products or heavy ingredients in your products. It doesn't take that much because one, you already know what mineral oil, alcohol, and all that stuff is drying and different things like that. So to be able to have these products that are made especially by our sisters, our queens, and it's for our skin, right? So I'm really intrigued because I have a product line, but it's versatile, but it's not necessarily focusing on, you see how TM was like, she has skin issues and things like that. Mine is more like focused on hair and different things like that. And to be able to see that you can produce a product that has, did you name the ingredients?
Yes, every ingredient's name. So for the hair serum will double as an eczema cream or eczema oil because of the ingredients that are in it. The hair serum has tea tree, peppermint, castor oil, the carrier oils and heavy oils that will sink into the skin. So those kind of oil, eucalyptus, those oils right there can definitely go straight to the scalp. Yeah, they can go on your elbow. They can go as a cuticle oil. So it must be, for us, and I'm not going to say bad about us. We need more Cosin. As far as to support us. And that's the sad part about it. Because Dove can put Talawade in their soap, which is real soap, with lard, animal fat.
Right.
And us. We love it. Yeah. We live by Dove. But we'll tell you not to eat pork. But we will lather our body in every Dove product they have selling. So it's the knowledge that we have to do a little more to coax us that it's quite okay. So I say find a product that can be more than one product.
Right. And it's about being able to educate yourself. And that's what I tell my clients because they like, well, what product should I use? And it's like, well, really what you should focus on is products. Well, just reading the ingredients.